Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for AWS Certified Developer Associate. You can download the complete list of AWS based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on Certified Developer Associate is: explain the concept of AWS Lambda cold starts and how to mitigate them. Your answer should be AWS Lambda cold starts occurs when a function is invoked for the first time or after a period of inactivity, resulting in increased latency. To mitigate cold starts, you can keep functions warm by invoking them periodically, optimize code for faster execution, and allocate more memory to reduce initialization time. Our next interview question is: what is AWS Elastic Load Balancer ELB and how does it work? Your answer should be AWS Elastic Load Balancing automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets such as EC2 instances or containers in multiple availability zones to ensure high availability and fault tolerance. It helps to balance the load and scale of your applications. Our next interview question is: explain the difference between Amazon S3, Amazon Glacier, and Amazon EFS, that is Elastic File System. Your answer should be Amazon S3 is an object storage service used for storing and retrieving data. Amazon Glacier is a low-cost storage service for data archiving and long-term backup. Amazon EFS is a scalable file storage service for use with AWS cloud services and on-premises resources. Our next interview question is: what is AWS Lambda layers and how do they work? Your answer should be AWS Lambda layers allow you to centrally manage code and data that is shared across multiple Lambda functions. Layers can contain libraries, custom runtimes, or other dependencies that you can use across functions without including them in the function code itself. Our next interview question is: explain the concept of AWS VPC endpoints. Your answer should be AWS VPC endpoints enable private connectivity between your VPC and supported AWS services without requiring an internet gateway, NAT device, VPN connection, or AWS Direct Connect connection. They allow you to keep traffic between VPC and the AWS service within the AWS network. Our next interview question is: what is AWS Cloud Formation Change Sets and how do they work? Your answer should be AWS Cloud Formation Change Sets allows you to preview changes to AWS resources before applying them. You can use changes sets to understand the impact of proposed changes, review them, and then decide whether to apply them to your stack. Our next interview question is: explain the concept of AWS ECS task placement strategies. Your answer should be AWS ECS task placement strategies allow you to control how tasks are placed on container instances within a cluster. Strategies include bin pack, spread, and random, which determine how tasks are distributed based on resource requirements, instance availability, or randomness. Our next interview question is: what are AWS Lambda function environments and How can you use them? Your answer should be AWS Lambda function environments allow you to define runtime settings and configuration variables for your Lambda functions. You can use environments to specify environment variables, configure resource limits, and define execution settings for your functions. Our next interview question is, what is AWS Fargate and how does it differ from AWS ECS? Your answer should be AWS Fargate is a serverless compute engine for containers that allows you to run containers without managing servers or clusters. AWS ECS, that is Elastic Container Service, is a fully managed container orchestration service that allows you to run containers on a cluster of EC2 instances. If you are preparing for any AWS-based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below.